The remix to Ignition, hot and fresh out the kitchen. Mama rolling that body, got every man in here wishing. What up?
That's what you got. All right. Hey, Thursday night. Here we go.
That's good.
Got a good one tonight. How's everybody doing? How's your bracket?
Good.
How's your brackets?
Busted out the gate.
Brackets are
My
good.
bracket is busted out the gate. Not good. Clemson, Louisville.
That 12-5 matchup every time.
Every year. It's a given.
Hey, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Like, I almost put up the Christmas song today. It's the most wonderful time. My favorite day of the year.
I want to go back to school when they used to roll the card in. That's how old we are.
Yeah.
Roll the card in.
It looked like
The
Drake.
ACC tournament. Yay!
It looked like Drake is beating Kendrick Lamar by 7.
Let's go. All right, hey, let's kick it in. We keep getting score updates. Y'all got them up where y'all can see them, I know. But look, last week we talked about that little spanking thing, right? About getting that little bop on the tail bottom for discipline. This week we're going to change it up. We're going to talk about discipline versus development and correcting without crushing confidence, right? And so I'm going to come to you, Devo, real quick, because you used to work in the school system. You used to be around the kids a lot and all that. How is this younger generation different? Why can't we treat them like we got treated?
Yeah, they ain't built like that. It's a different world. It's a different time. So like I'm gonna tell you real quick, like it like I used to get toe out the frame. Like every time I did something wrong, Pops be on that tail. Like cooking with fish grease. You know what I'm saying? So like today, in this day and age, and so I don't want to misconstrue this point because I was thinking about it when you sent out the text, and I was thinking, I was like, you know what, we can't delay or we can't withhold discipline, but it has to be in a different way. Maybe I should just speak for my own personal kids or some of the kids that I work with at schools. Like I don't think you can rip them up and you can't like beat them like we used to get beatings. However, I think that this generation still needs to know and understand what right is right and what's wrong is wrong, and know that there's consequences for each and every action. So I think that's the main thing. But I think it also boils down to the relationship that you develop with your child. Like, I don't think that you can't discipline without a relationship. And so you have to be extremely intentional about developing that relationship with your child in order to have the opportunity to discipline them. And I think if you discipline without the relationship, there's going to be even more adverse effects when it comes down to it. But that relationship piece is so critical when it comes to discipline.
Yeah. The pushback is real if there's no relationship there. The pushback from the kids is just so real because there's no respect there. There's nothing to. The love piece is not there. The constructive piece is not there. The learning piece isn't there. It's just like, hey, I got nothing except for this is what you're doing wrong and you're in trouble. The other side of that stuff is not there. So they don't want to respect you. You're the bad guy all the time.
Right.
Yeah. Eric?
Man, I'm just still on a high from the birthday. Devo, thanks for coming to the party. Man,
Don't make me feel bad.
Me too.
I ain't gonna make y'all feel bad. We're gonna do it again next year. Make up.
Hey,
man,
I just want to point out the two people on top again, which we talked
white
about.
People didn't come. Just go ahead and say it.
We talked about it 2 weeks ago, and we still ain't diversified. I know your boy done got rid of all this DEI stuff, but hey, can you put one up top and one down the bottom? It don't matter which. Just put you know what I'm saying? Can we go balance, please?
There we go.
I had a mixed representation at the party, so it made me feel good. It was
we're gonna do it right. This one. We're gonna do it right.
There we go.
But you know what? I know we're talking about discipline, and like a lot of what we were talking about last week was about what our parents did to us. But when I do think about the party, and Devo can attest to this, most of the time I spent watching my parents. At different times, I'd come back up, but I really was watching them. And I told both of them on Saturday, I said, I was proud to be your son in that moment, because all the things that you had done for me, is really the fruit of the labor was watching people come up to say, you're Eric's parents. I heard a lot about you, or you raised a good son, blah, blah, blah. And it really does speak to this conversation here, is when you have the relationship, no matter how old you get, there's going to be that deference for your parent. There's going to be that respect factor. There's going to be that I don't want to let them down. There's just this common bond, even though you may go off and do your own thing, become an adult, whatever. But when you have the relationship and it's cemented early, you can look back and reflect and say, wow, man, it was so cool to see my parents see so many people that I love, and that they probably didn't know how we were connected, but they still had some pride in there to say, that's our son. And so I think that says a lot about, the relationship, the strength of the relationship, and hopeful that your children will go out and continue to honor you with the way they live their life and the people that they come in contact with and things of that nature. But to the topic of the discipline versus the development, and then Devon, back to what you were saying as far as it's got to happen then, I reflect just yesterday, a situation happened where I came downstairs and I saw my wife and my oldest talking to each other, but they were you could definitely tell that Aaron was a little irritated with whatever was going on with Ethan. And so I just sit there kind of like, what's going on? Well, he had gotten this little trinket from his friend from school. And, we've always told him, stop bringing stuff home from school. It's not schoolwork. Stop doing that. But he had taken it a notch and said that he told the young person that he was going to pay him $5 for it. And it was like, well, how much did this person make this gift for other kids? And he was like, yeah. Did they have to pay? No. Well, why do you have to feel you have to come and pay and all this other stuff? So I could see myself getting a little irritated about the story the more I was hearing about the story. But I stopped and asked him, I said, what did you tell this person? He said, I told him that I was going to pay them $5. I said, well, then you got to own it. You got to be a man of your word. If you told the person you're going to pay him, then you need to make sure you pay him, because you got to own up to it. I said, now I wanted to be upset because I was reflecting on, this is the second time you brought something home. We said you weren't supposed to. So this could have been a whoop that trick moment, but it was like, no, let him figure it out. He said he was going to pay. So he's going to pay. But the thing that was really cool was when his mother asked him, said, why did you do this? Like paraphrasing, why did you do this? He said, well, I thought it was the kind thing to do because she went out of her way to make something for me. And I thought that it was the kind thing to do. Yeah, it was free, but I thought it was of value and I should have paid her for her work. I was like, where did this come from?
I don't know. That sounds like a Inga Russo moment. I remember when I was in 5th grade, this girl named Inga Russo, I used to take some pop rocks to school, and she used to sell them to me for like $1. And I'm like, but you paid 25 cents for them. She was like, yeah, I know. But I still paid that $1. So be careful with that. Whatever you must do.
Hey, but the thing is, he told me, he said, Dad, I'm going to just go upstairs and I'm going to pray because I want God to tell me what I should do. I'll get a good word in the morning and I'll know. So fast forward.
He's going to tell you to take that $5. And he doesn't. Dad's going to tell you to take that $5.
So he came down this morning. He was like, I said, well, what did you come up with? He said, I'm going to do the $5. And I said, okay, good. Be a man of your word. I said, but look, this time stop bringing stuff home that, I said, it in there contraband in 5th grade, man. It's like, come on.
Listen, y'all know the story of the stuff I used to sell in 3rd grade. I was selling to your kid. I certainly was. You want to buy it for 75 cents? Yes, you were.
That's why I'm scared.
So here's the next question. The next question with that is, do you think this generation has an issue with trying to be their kid's friend? And does that lead to problems when it comes to being to disciplining them?
Us as parents, us parent generation.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think so. I think they're built differently. Like Debo said, they're just built different. Some of it's on us, some of it's on society. There's a whole mixture of things there. But yeah, I think too many parents want to be the friend. Too many parents want to be the, like even fit in with the kids' friends at school. Like there's like this whole like let's be the cool parent, the mom or the dad, and instead of being it's more of the, all right, bro. Like it's almost that whole like dynamic of like best friend instead of parenting. Like some of the stuff that my son will say it too, but some of the stuff I hear other parents say, I'm like, my teeth, my jaw, my whole head would have been over there had I said stuff like that. There wasn't I don't know that I ever thought of my dad as my friend ever growing up. And he coached me in sports, basketball, baseball from 5 up until I played high school. I never was like, my dad's my homie. Now they're like I watched a kid. Where was I? I think I was at Hudson's soccer game the other day, and I watched a kid flick his parents off, like legit, like flick the parents off, and I'm like,
what? Let me give you one on that. My dad coached me too, and I was 12, and I said, I don't remember what cuss word I said, but it was a cuss word, and I said it loud enough. I was right out of the game, and it was early in the game. And I never stopped running. We were playing this place called this elementary school called Jeffers Grove. I ran around the field till the game was over. Never stopped. If I stopped, he was like, "Get back on it." Yep. That's what happened when I said I probably said the F-bomb. Who the heck knows what I said back then, But I got out or something, and I said a cuss word, and right out of the game, and I was on the run the rest of the game. You would never see that now. You would never see it now. Not in a million years.
No. And even just the disrespect of and I have the same, the kid's mom and I is divorced. So even like the disrespect either way, and it's spoken a little bit more on the dad's side if he does it to her or people in her life. I'm like, hey, bro, we're not doing that. But I'm like, that kid just, and I'm looking around for somebody to tell. I felt like I was with y'all. Like I should be with y'all. Like, bro, did you see? Like, I couldn't even tell anybody. Like, how do you, that's one of those things you don't even tell anybody. I'm like, you literally either told this kid no about getting a snack or something. The kid flicked you off in front of other parents and friends, and you laughed it off. And then other parents would take it another level, like, I'll just go get it for him, or here's the money to do it. There's parents are soft too.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll say it.
I will say that I was fortunate this past season to coach the boys basketball team, but particularly with the 10U. I was honored, to be honest with you. I was honored to coach those young men because their parents were all in. They were all in because they knew I was going to lead with my heart. They knew I was going to say what I needed to. The good thing about it, the way practices were structured, is that they all sat in the bleachers for the hour that we were there. And my assistant and I, we were tough on those boys because we felt like they could handle it. But we would always finish the practice with just a quick assessment from the parents, like a thumbs up, like, we good, thumbs up, like, you didn't hear anything that's going to, And so after each game, depending on what the situation was, we would always have our team huddle. And I would make sure that the parents knew how much I appreciated them, how much I appreciate pouring into them. Now, Upward is set up where it is Christian centered and comes through the church and everything. So a lot of the competitiveness, while it's there, it's not the be all, end all, be all. And so, everybody get a trophy. Philosophically, everybody get a trophy, but but a lot of that competitive, AAU type, whatever, whoever's the best player, you don't really see a lot of that stuff. So I think the parents were really appreciative that there was a lot of just nurturing and watching the young men grow and things of that nature. And I kind of, after the season was over, was just like, man, I wish I could have that all the time, to see that level of interaction with the parents, the participation. They want the young men to grow. Win or lose didn't matter, but they were all in. But you don't always see that. And so I don't know if it's wishful thinking, if it's just changing of the guard, if it's a different time, parents are younger. I don't know what it is, but it's a little different.
Well, I can say I think a little bit of that too, Eric. You're in a good spot. You're in a sweet spot right now. But as the boys get older and they get more competitive, man, it changes. And you'll see the demons come out in the parents. And I'm talking about this from the perspective of being a parent and just sitting back watching it, but also being a coach, you know. And one of the things I could not stand is when, you know, you see a player on the field and they make a mistake and the first thing their head does is whip over to look at their parents, you know.
Oh, that drives me nuts.
Don't do it. No.
Or like talking to the parents in the stands.
Mistakes are part of the game. And obviously you saw that, Eric, because you were at, you know, sports at the college level and at a high level and all that. But man, when your parents get so involved and they're so overwhelming in the sport, listen, the reality of it, we all know. I can say this about Braden and soccer. When we counted, when he went to college to play college soccer, there literally was about, of all the boys that we knew, there was a couple of hundred that went and played college soccer. Believe it or not, college soccer above. I mean, not 100, excuse me. There was 55 that went and play out of the hundreds that he had played with, 55. Right. Braden was one of 4 that played 4 years of college sports. Now think about that. All that pressure, all that practice, all that. My son's going to be the next big thing. My son's going to be the next big mess. He's going MLS. Well, of those 55 that went and played college, 4 made it all 4 years playing college sports. There's one out of all the people that Braden ever played with that plays in the MLS. One. That's it. One. Yeah. So, there's so much. We've talked about this before. There's so much good that comes from sports and dance and cheerleading and you know, all these different activities. But you as a parent, you got to keep it on the real. You have to keep it real, you know.
I think they want to give that there's that fine line, and I think it's the quote, like, your dad's the only person that ever wants you to do better than him.
Yeah.
Period. But I think some parents take that fine line, or they try to live through the kid. So I think that's part of the, hey, I didn't get to do this, so I know my son or my daughter is good at this, so I'm going to ride the coattails, which the pressure, all the events, all the things, you get a whole lot closer. And then it's like, it's easier to be the friend because you're trying to live through them than it is to be the parent to parent them through it. And I think that's a big pitfall too, because
I took a little bit different stance on it too. And that's where I met Eric at Gopher College. And my thing with Braden was, you know, I played baseball in college. I thought, you know, D1, I thought I was going to go be the next big thing. And it didn't work out. I went to the Marine Corps and became a pilot, which is good too, right? I made the decision to do a career. But with Braden, he was getting recruited to go play at UNC Greensboro, where I played. He was getting recruited to play at some D1 and D2. But I was like, dude, go play. Get on the field and play. That's why all those 50-some people quit. Because when are you going to quit? You're going to quit when you're riding the pine and you're not playing.
Right.
That's when you're like, forget this, because college sports is a job. Be realistic. No, go play, you know? Yep. So I know we're off the discipline and thing, and that's part of the open communication that you talked about, Devo, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think parents do have to have their expectations in check, you know, have to have their boundaries in check, because I think you're spot on, Josh. I think a lot of parents do try to live vicariously through their kids.
Yep.
And because of their missteps or because of their lack of ability or lack of talent, they didn't have the opportunity to place on a certain level. So therefore, now they know, quote unquote, they're going to place that child and make sure that their child gets the best in their minds that they possibly can provide to get them to that particular level, and end up doing their child a whole disservice instead of that. Again, I think it's critical to go back to keeping it in the middle of the road, making sure that your child understands expectations, making sure you hold your child accountable to those, and not try to rescue them for every situation. You talked about helicopter parents, Matt, and I think a lot of parents do try to swoon down and pick their child up and protect them from basic consequences. Not even grandiose. Like it's like basic, at a basic level. And you know, my wife and I, you know, love her to death. you know, she and I sometimes will try to intervene and try to save our kids. Which I'm one to quickly be like, hey, let them feel a little bit of that heat. Like that heat is good. Like we all need to feel that heat so that we know our boundaries and we know our place. Because a world without any heat or thinking that we can just run roughshod through it is enough. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh, I about said something. It's illusion. It's illusion. And it's
wrong
that,
show.
Wrong show. Right? Yeah. PG version. It's
10 o'clock.
That illusion is doing your child a huge disservice.
Yeah.
Because there's boundaries to this thing called life. And you know, it was funny. I was joking with my child, my middle child especially. I was telling her, like, I never heard no until like I was 25. So from like 12 to 25, I got everything I wanted. Like, and granted, like, don't misconstrue that. Like, I worked for everything that I wanted. Like, when I first got to the Navy and I got on ship, I was like, oh, I need to do this to be an MP? I got you. So I knocked it out. Like, I knocked out all the requirements. I did this, I did that. There was like, okay, you want to be an RA at App State? This is what you got to do. All right. So this is what I do. I went to all the Eric's programs and check the box there too, so I can get somebody to co-sign for me. And so, like, I think there's value in that. But as a parent, when you try to circumvent that and kill that process, protocol, whatever you need to call it, in order for your child to understand what it takes to get to that next level, circumvent that, I think probably is a better word. Yeah. I think it does your child a huge disservice, because we need to feel those knocks. Like, I need for my middle child to know that, all right, baby girl, God has blessed you. Like, God has blessed you. You know, you're beautiful, you're intelligent, you can roll with them. However, here's what it is. And here's what you need to do in order to be able to compete. And so you have to feel that pain, or you have to feel that, I like to call it the angst. You got to feel the angst to know what it is that you got to do in order to compete in this world. Because, you know, they say the world's flat. I don't want to get back on my kick, but, you know, but some of us black and brown folks, the world may not be as flat. So without DEI, it damn sure ain't flat no more. All right. Let's just keep the band with you. All right.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. There's some of that accountability, right? There's some of that feeling the pain. Like you said, I couldn't agree with you more, Devo. And there's something to not stepping in every time something goes wrong to try to smooth it out. Let them go through the process. Let them feel the pain, because that's just life. They're not always going to be there. Go ahead, Eric.
No. I was reflecting on one comment I made maybe about 3 or 4 sessions ago or segments ago about this very thing, when I was talking about the college kids that we run across, and in a situation where Aaron is. I mean, there was a kid who was a grad student who hadn't taken care of their responsibilities and had a parent, you know, coming to their aid, and I just scratched my head, because I was like, well, you know, what did y'all say? It was like, well, we just put it back on them. Say, you know, you checked your email, checked your messages, you know, what have you done to get out of your situation? And, you know, the parent didn't want them talking to the child. Was like, talk to me, I'm here. So if you have an issue, talk to me. And that's very common. It's not just one school of as opposed to others. That's common all across higher ed landscape, where, you know, kids know if I scream loud enough, mom's going to come to the rescue. And they're not the ones who know what they're doing. And I haven't done what I needed to, but you make the university seem like they've, you know, derelict of their responsibilities, and come to find out you haven't even taken the initiative to register for a class, pay for a parking ticket, you know, all these little things that just seem mundane and part of this experience, but it's so common. And when you talk about development or developmental, when do you start that process? When this person's like in their 20s, you know, mid to late 20s? It's too late.
Like some of that stuff. Yeah, some of that stuff too. Like when I'm doing insurance, like I had people come in that worked at National Ground Intelligence, like in the military, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, paying for insurance and would just hand me the check. Like, can you do this? I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, they didn't know how to fill out the check.
Yeah.
I'm like my 14-year-old, my 13-year-old, like he knows what to do with a check. But like it goes back to that same how far do you go? And like how did they get through life doing that? And then you have adults that are here too, because for us, hard knocks too. Whether we have a boss, we do the right thing, we do the wrong thing. They're not cutting any slack there. That's the real world. That's so parents that helicopter it or try to be the friend or try to, fix all the issues before they happen. You're not teaching. You're not setting a good example, but you're not able to teach those kids anything for the real world, because then all they're going to do is just, hey mom, hey dad, hey, what am I supposed with anything? It's craziness to me of like what like accidents or whatever. Like I didn't know what to do. Who was I supposed to call? Like you call the police. Oh, I called my, who? I'm like, what do you mean? It blows my mind. It really blows my mind, because they lose that. You lose the parenting piece when you become the friend piece.
They lose the common sense decision making ability if you take it away from them.
Yes.
If you don't give them common sense decision making, there's two things. I've always said this about school, right, and about life, earlier life, and I totally believe it. It's 50-50. It's 50% academics and it's 50% street smarts. It's 50% just knowing how to live on the daily and survive on the daily. And I think that, to me, that's where we're doing our kids a disservice nowadays. And that also comes into the positiveness. And like we've talked about, if you're going to talk to your kids and you're going to come in and they do something wrong, and you're going to say, okay, hey, let's talk about what just happened, and let's talk about how, why it was a bad decision. Let's talk about why we don't need to do it again. However, here's the consequences. You're grounded, or you're going to lose your phone, or whatever the situation might be. There's consequences, right? But we don't do that nowadays. We go, a lot of parents nowadays, we go and try to ice it over. And then kid just sees it. Oh, I'm all free. I may have screwed up, but I'm all free. Not my problem, And then you, like
Mom
you said,
will fix it. Dad will fix it.
Mom fixed, dad fixed. And then, like you said, Josh, they're walking into your office and they're asking you to fill out the check.
I looked at that dude like, you can serve. You're supposed to protect me, and you're in your uniform and everything, and you can't write a check. Do you know?
I would have been like, no decimal, a comma.
Right. And actually write it to me personally. Does not go to the company. Like, I'll take care of it. Don't you worry about nothing.
But isn't it sad though that that's a reality that happens all over the place? And we do it to them. We're the ones who do it to them.
Yeah.
I mean,
or like, and you see it and it goes viral and all the videos and stuff, but they give the teenage girls a bad rap, but teenage boys do it too, where they don't know how to pump gas, or like how to, like that sort of stuff, like those little mundane things that are like, and my kid's mom, I don't know where we met to drop Hudson off, and she's like, have you ever taught him how to pump gas before? I'm like, yeah, I done taught him how to pump gas. She's like, well, so-and-so doesn't know how to pump gas. I'm like, that's like one of those things. It's I don't know. You think you'd want to teach them as they get closer to like driving. Like,
Josh,
what?
I saw a kid, I guess he might have been between 15 and 18, maybe. Mom was pumping gas. It was closer to 9 or 10 o'clock at night. One of my late nights home. He's sitting in there, just front seat. She's out there pumping gas. And I literally wanted to go over there and be like, get your butt out of this car and pump this gas for your mom. But rather than, put my nose up in the air and stuff, I was just like, check the box. It's the same. Make sure these boys know how to pump gas when it comes time to it.
Yeah, I got one for you. This is a pet peeve of mine. And it wasn't this trip, but it was last trip. I was getting on the airplane, and this young man, this older lady in her 70s, was short, trying to get her bag up into the top thing, into the baggage compartment. And this young man, said, ma'am, can I help you? Can I put that up? Put it in. And I was like, I was like 3 or 4 behind him, and we went down the aisle, and he sat down, and I stopped, and I said, "Hey, I want to thank you for what you just
100%.
did, because I cannot tell you how many times I'm on a plane where I watch men, young men and men, grown men our age, sit there and watch a lady struggle putting their bag up into the baggage compartment. I see it all the time." And that he looked at me and he said, "Well, my parents were military, and if I would have not helped that lady and they saw me, they would beat my butt." I was like, "Well, that's good, because I'm retired military, and I'm here to tell you I appreciate it." But
Yeah.
how is a young man? I've told my son, I've told Braden, I like literally sent out a group text to my family, emphasis to Braden, and said, "If I ever see you not help a lady put her bag in the overhead baggage compartment on an airplane, if I ever see it or I ever hear about it, it's on. It's
Yeah.
just on." But I see it constantly.
Yeah. Or like holding the door or letting somebody walk through. I do it with Hudson all the time. Like, hey, we're at church or wherever. Like, you let them go first. Well, they're back. You let them go first. Hold the door. I'll hold it. You hold it. Let them go first. It's just a teaching thing. But you'd be surprised how many people are just, well, we all see it. It's like walking in front of these old ladies or whatever. Like, what's going on?
Go ahead, Devo.
Yeah. So hey, I want to touch on that. Like, I think as professional dads, I think that's where we step in, because I think we have to we have to emphasize. Josh, you just used that word. We have to excuse me, not Josh, Matt, you just emphasized the word. We have to emphasize what it is. Like, I watch my wife teach, and when she teaches and a child does the correct thing, she says, "Hey, thank you for Devo for doing the right thing. Here's what you did." And she tells him what he did right. Again, to re-emphasize that, so that more than likely little Devo will do that same thing again and again and again. And I think we have to break it down to that simplest factor. And I think we even I think about leading up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of times we've probably hit positions of power, and so that we haven't always had to lead up. But now, as professional dads, I think it's so essential that we lead up and we specify exactly what it is that you did and what exactly it is that I'm proud of, and tell them what it is, and pat them on the back, give them that attaboy, that attagirl, and then hopefully they will do it again. And then not only that, are you being an example for that particular child, but you're also being an example for that particular parent who may not necessarily have the same skill set that it takes in order to elevate their status, in order to be the parent that they probably should be at that particular time and place. So I commend you. And like, I think that's where we can actually make a difference is if we vocalize that specific act that made us be like, "Hey, I see you, young man. I see you, young lady. Like, go get it. Yeah. Do your thing.
True. Exactly.
Go be great. Go be
especially
great.
especially to boys, girls too. But it's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, but it's the same too with your girls if they're talking around some older lady, or older gentleman, right? Hold the door. Yeah, you're young, you're healthy. Hold the door. You might be a lady, but hold the door. Here's a scenario for y'all. All right, because I see this all the time too, and it drives me nuts. Right, we're walking. The four of us are walking into the. There are four of us are walking into the a restaurant or wherever heck we're going, but it's a door and then another door, right? So 2 doors. Got to go through 2 doors. So one of us holds the door, and the other ones go through. How many times have you seen somebody just keep on walking, or open the other door and just keep walking? Yeah. What are you supposed to do?
Right.
Yeah. What are you supposed to do?
Right. Hold that
door. Next person, hold the door.
Yeah, open the door. If I'm the first one through, I better be the one holding the door for everybody else to come through.
Yep.
I'm fortunate that my boys do that all the time, man. I tell you, I'm grooming Walmart greeters because they do that all the time.
We know, Mr. Walton.
I know. If it's a single door, church, whatever, one of them's got it. If it's a double door, one will get it, and the other one will go get the other one too, man. It's just something. It's fun to see that. it's fun to see that stuff. It's just, reinforce those things that you want to do. But it's also one of those things where you don't want to. So I was almost pushing back on what Devo was saying, because I know
Devo's like, I'm sorry, you do.
No, I'm saying in my conscious mind, I agree with him. But I think that where the pushback comes in is that sometimes folks may feel compelled not to say anything because they don't know if somebody's gonna pop off at them, because you don't know me. What, you tell me to hold the door or hold that luggage or whatever, and it's that fear of, what if they say something to me, because they might snap at me because I tried to either correct or acknowledge or whatever, so I can stay silent. And even on the flip is, sometimes you've been in a situation where you do try to lift that bag up, and the lady's like, I don't need your help. It's like, pop to the people. I can do my own thing. I don't need a man. So you like conscious of
INDEP.
Society has changed the narrative such that you don't know who needs help or not. You just fall on good teaching. And we would assume that that's the right thing to do. But man, it's so crazy. Same thing when you're talking about airports. I've seen the same scenarios where folks has popped off on those same planes because you tried to help. Yeah. And just gave you I don't need no help. So it's like, sorry.
But then that's fine. That's fine. What you want your kid to do, or what you want us to do, or any young man to do, is say, thank you. Or just shut up and go on then. If you don't need my help, that's good. Let me watch you struggle. But, you were there and you tried to do the right thing, Right. And, but I agree with you. It's different. Like yesterday, I went to Taco Bell. Hold on, one quick. Sorry, Dave, I know you're saying. Went to Taco Bell. I tried to order 2 combos. My wife tried to order 2 combos. And the lady was like, it cost this much, $10. And I was like, well, that's not 2 combos. But she cut me off at the drive-thru. I pulled up to the thing. I said, hey, I'm sorry. I think it was supposed to be 2 combos. She chewed me out.
The lady at the drive-thru?
Yeah, she was mad at me, and I'm like,
lucky I even came to Taco Bell.
Right. I wanted to go to El Puerto, but they were and I'm in a hurry.
Taco Tuesday, so I'm gonna pull through.
No, give me my Nacho Bel Grande, lady, and leave me alone.
Mexican pizza, no beans.
My little girl has got this thing about Taco Bell. And I absolutely hate Taco Bell. But that's a story for another day. But I just wanted to kind of holler at you. Like, you're right. There is some differences. And like, there's some people who want to do it themselves. Like, they don't want no help. And they think that you shouldn't do. But I think it's perfectly okay for us to announce, hey, this is just the way that I was raised. I just want to be a support system. I just want to come alongside you, yada, 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 and flip it that way. Because, you're right. There's some people just going to hate whatever you do, right, wrong, indifferent. Yeah. And so I think that's part of the process as well, is to learn and to understand that experience is probably going to come sooner or later. But it's definitely out there. But they're still always right to do the right thing, And so if you raise your gentlemen, or if I raise my girls to go out and still provide that particular service and say, hey, this world's tough. I just want to support you. I just want to love you. I just want to, this is my way. This is my act of love. And so from that, I want to help you put your bag up top, or I want to help pull your groceries out there. I want to put your cart back up. Like whatever it is, this is where I'm coming from. It's not to upstand you. It's not to show you out, or it's not to say that I'm better than you. It's just because
just the way I was raised.
Yeah, you're a human just like I am. Right. Like, I want to love on you. Like, love thy neighbor. Like, that's all it boils down to.
I like that when you do try, you guys said it, like trying to help people and they look at you like judgy. Like, I'm like, lady, listen, this arm right here costs more than your purse. You should probably just let me put that bag up there. Like, don't look at me because I got a tattoo on my arm. But people will look at you and judge you, whether it's color, whether it's clothes, whether it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, hey, let me put that up for you. And they're like, nah, I got it. Like, I'm not going to steal your bag. I'm sitting in front of you. You're back there. Like, I'm not going to steal your bag. Like, or I'm back in the back of the plane with you. But I think people get that. There's those independent people that are like, hey, nah, I got it. What do you say?
Is that I know you got a Gucci bag, but I ain't trying to cop it.
Right, I ain't trying to cop it. Mine's in my bag up there. Like I already put my bag up there. But I think there's that independence there too, where they're like, hey, there's a pride thing there, man, woman, that they don't want that. And then it's the, what do you want from me? Or they're just not used to people doing that for them. Like you're saying, Matt. Matt, you're probably like, man, nobody even helps any of that. Some people just aren't even, they're not used to being treated that way.
I'm talking about, mostly some, 60 and older, you know what I mean? Because I think you're right. The younger women and, and all that, they're normally, they whip their bag up there and you don't even have an opportunity to put it up. Right. But if
she cute, I'm pulling it down and putting it back. Like, no, I got it. No, let me
up there. I'm taking it down too.
Right? Are you
like,
hey, exactly.
my car
in Atlanta?
That's funny.
Oops, it's down.
But it is. It's teaching that respect. It's teaching these young men and women how to respect people that have that are ahead of us and are older. But I mean, again, we got to do it right. We have to discipline them. We have to talk to them. It's communicate. I love how Devo and so many other podcasts that we've had, you talk about communication, right? We're men, we're fixers. We want to tell you what's going on, but we have to learn how to listen. But we also need to learn when to step in and be direct when it's coming, and all that. And that's where you're at, Eric, too, going forward, Your boys enter that age, and you've done a good job. There's no doubt you and Aaron done a good job, but you'll hit the ups and downs, where they try to, and you got to put them in their place. Yeah. Like I have taken Braden to, you want to talk about, jokingly, but you take them down. They just say, okay.
You're going to have to go back to last week's session too, like with that trick, and then we're going to teach you. Like it's going to go back and forth. Like there's many days you just want to punch him right here. And many days you just want to teach them. Like it just depends on the day.
Yeah, I'm talking about like in almost like you find that time when you're joking, you're young, you're wrestling or a little roughhousing or whatever. And you just say, you put them in their place and say, I'm still the man here. If you want to test it, let's go. But you don't do it.
I know this don't have anything to do, and we'll get into work and careers maybe again in a different scenario. But being in this position I'm in now, man, I can't tell you how grateful I am for the independence that I have to be able to spend more time with my kids. Because I feel guilty at times where I feel like this new season feels like catch up. They don't even care. They don't care about the times. I know you and Devo are, out of town right now, but that was my life. Last 4 years was my life living in a suitcase, and missed a lot of time. And then when I get home, it was just like, I don't have time to give the time. And now it's unapologetic. It's like, leave, make my calls, have my couple of meetings. Let's go to Topgolf.
Yeah.
Not apologizing to anybody. I might make it up, on Thursday, or might make it up on Saturday or whatever. But it's like we went out the other day and just tossed football and was just out there before the sun went down. Yeah. And I'm like, when was I doing this? Say 2 years ago. When was I doing this? Like every Saturday, Devo, occupied with some athletic event, come home at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, and then you dragging your feet to try to spend some time with them. So now it's just like, you know what? It's kid first. My boys have all my time.
If I could get more time, I would. I'm telling you, I would.
Same.
I miss it. Hey, we're going to transition a little bit, but I want to throw something out here. We're going to come back. How we're going to close this out is it's a selfish way, because I got two things about my kids that are my kids. I got something about my kids I'm real proud of, all of them. So I want y'all to think about, like, when we're going out here in just a second, I want you to talk about something that you're proud of your kids for, right? So put it on your mind, think about it, and we'll talk about it. But before that, we're going to go around real quick. We got 13 minutes left. We're going to go around. We're going to answer Amy's question here. Amy says, as dads, what do you think the hardest lesson to teach your kids is?
Ooh.
That's deep.
Somebody said I'm cute. Who's cute?
She's cute.
Aisha says she's cute, or she's saying I'm cute.
No, because I think she's saying that because I said, well, if she's cute, I'm pulling the bag off the thing. She's like, dude, I'm on that plane, Josh.
I'm just
pull my bag off the
dude. I just saw the comments when Matt said Amy. I said, where's Amy been? I hadn't seen her in a couple of weeks. And then I saw I'm cute. I was like, well, which one of us on the thing is cute?
Listen, I'm gonna dress nice and have expensive stuff, but I'm on Spirit in 8D.
Y'all didn't say I shaved the beard off for the podcast. You didn't even know.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
First class on Spirit.
First class on Spirit, baby.
The reality of it is we're all over 50 now. So if she was talking to us, she'd have said, y'all are handsome. The only one that can be cute still is Josh.
She just said,
Josh.
All of you are cute.
She was talking to Josh there because we in the 50 club. So
we're in the 50 club. You're cute, Josh. We're handsome.
We're handsome.
It ain't no more cute. It's like, oh, he got a healthy 401.
Right. Yeah. How long you been at your job?
That dude got a pension.
6,000 a year. For how long?
Yeah. I said, look, I don't want to hear nobody say you got a pension. I like the other word. You got it.
Yeah.
They don't say that no more.
Hardest lesson. Let's go.
Hey, I'll go because I had the same thing with Hudson the other night. So Hudson played soccer, started Tuesday night, I think, first game. He's just like me. He's extremely athletic. He's good, but he's extremely hard on himself. My hardest thing right now to try to teach him is that short-term memory. You had a good play, you had a bad play. Like, let's go on to the next play. They won the game. He started as a freshman, JV, great soccer player, did a phenomenal job, and immediately comes off and he's like, I messed up with this. I did this, and this. And I'm like, and his mom she'll go on with him and like, oh, it's okay. She'll do the mom thing, which is fine. But she's like, you played the whole game. You did fine. And I'm like, dude, we're not doing this. So we're literally walking to the car. If y'all follow me on social media, I crushed 2 donuts from the Sugar Shack before I got there. So I'm like riding high on sugar. And my kid's like beating himself up when he shouldn't have beat himself up. And I just think back to my dad doing the same exact thing because I want things perfect. And that's him. That's my hardest lesson now is because I don't know. It's a different time as we're talking about. My dad would just be like, dude, get over it.
Yeah.
Get over it. You won, you lost, get over it, figure it out. And it's different with him. He's a little bit more sensitive than I was at that age. But me trying to figure out how to get him to be competitive, have the drive, have all of that, but not be a perfectionist when I'm the same way. My therapist tells me all the time.
This is what I struggle with this. Did it forever with Braden. I used a baseball example with him, and he finally started buying in on it. And I said, okay, baseball, you're a baseball player. I was like, you hit 300 in the major leagues. What are you?
Hall of Fame,
baby. Hall of Fame, baby. How many times did you fail?
700.
700.
7 times. 70% of the time. 70% of the time you fail.
So you're gonna fail more than you're gonna succeed. And that it took me a long time, and I'd go back to that. I said, let's go back, because he would beat himself up big time. Then I'd also say he would get frustrated at his teammates if they made a bad pass.
Yes.
I said, all right, hey, do not get mad at your friend, your teammates. I was like, because when you get mad at them, you're going to be the next one to make the next mistake. And he would come off, and I would say, remember when you got mad? What happened? What happened next time you touched the ball? Next time you're on the ball, did you keep it? Did you give it away? Yeah, I gave it away. Okay, so why are you going to get mad at them? I said, every time if you touched the ball, you scored, then soccer would be a boring game.
Yeah, you would be mad. You'd be upset because it wasn't fun. It was too easy.
Yeah, that's right. There we go. So yeah, that's it. I love that though. I love that, and I'm right there with you with that. Go ahead. Who's next?
So for my 10-year-old, I'm gonna say the thing that I worry about for him, which is not a bad thing, but it's just middle school up the ante. He's so nice. Oh my God, he's the nicest 10-year-old I've ever met, and I'm proud of him, extremely proud of him. but with the situation bringing that little trinket home, it's like I used the scenario with Aaron. I said, Aaron, man, you get in middle school, they're gonna lace that same trinket with drugs. And that brother gonna bring it home, and they're gonna be like, "You going to jail because you got drugs." And I'm like, "Dude, stop bringing stuff home."
It's gonna be more than $5.
I know, right? I know. But see,
funny.
and it's like, I don't want him to be taken advantage of. And it's like some of that you just got to learn through hard knocks. You just have to learn how to develop tough skin or whatnot. And I don't want him to be rude and disrespectful to his friends and other things like that. But I don't want him to be gullible, if that makes sense, And so some of those things I'm gonna have to just train him through examples or talk through things and say, look, why she want to give you that thing? What okay, Dad, tell me what's really behind the curtain, because I want to prepare him for that stuff. I will eventually give him some life lessons and experiences, because Devo knows that I got in a little trouble being gullible, But that's one thing for my 10-year-old. For my 7-year-old, man, the life lesson I got to teach him is he's got the sharpest tongue for a 7-year-old. It's funny because I have to cover my mouth sometimes. I don't want to laugh and give him the thing.
Where's it coming from? Don't say Aaron.
Coming from his mom.
Don't say Aaron.
Look, Aaron will cut like cotton. I'm telling you.
You know what? I told her.
Nah. Mom, D, man. Mom will cut you, and you'll take a shower and be like, dang, why am I bleeding? And you didn't even know.
She must have gone to Tisha Miller Curran School.
Man, look, her nickname in Delaware used to be Nice Nasty. Like nice nasty.
Yeah.
Like, how you don't cut? But yeah, he got a little tongue on him, man. It's sharper than a double-edged sword, and he's cute. That boy is cute. He's gonna be. I'm telling you, he's a looker. He didn't get it from me, but he got it from his mom. But he's got that little edge to him. I said, man, if I'd be proud if he becomes an MMA fighter, because it's like you wouldn't think that he's a fighter, but he's gonna have to learn how to fight because that tongue is so sharp. So I think I had to kind of teach him, hey man, you too young to be talking like that. You got to back that up a little bit. Somebody's gonna pop you upside the head. So yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Devo.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here thinking I can agree with all of you guys. I think the one thing that I'm thinking is something about being gullible, or my thing is trying to always impress others. Like you gotta cut that shit out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, stand on your own principles. Like, know who you are, and it's good to have people to like you, but like them because you're who you are, not because of the jokes you tell or because you can do this or you can do be confident who you are.
And who you are.
Like stand in your own skin. And so I think that's the most important thing for me to sit back and to share with my children, and just know that adversity is coming. And it's okay. Like, it's okay for adverse situations to happen. Just sit back, reflect on it, and figure out how you're going to deal with it, and figure out what's going to be your best vantage point. So those are two issues I think that kind of reign stream for me. Like, I got my little fifth grader. Like, she just wants to be loved by everybody. And so, your child paying $5, my child pay $8.50. And dad head just spinning around because we don't pay for nothing. Like, we don't pay for that stuff. So that's my vantage point. That's where I'm coming from. But I'm like, hey, boo, like, what were you thinking? Like, and just try to break it down step by step. So those are the critical issues in the car. So,
hey, remind me to bring whatever that little trinket was on the next podcast. I'll show you. Was this worth $5? Like, in the world?
No.
Hey,
no.
Right. So here's my thing, Amy, and you'll recognize this because me and Amy have had this conversation, especially when you have young girls, is that because I agree, I agree with everything. Y'all have already covered some stuff that I would say, but this FOMO thing, right? These young kids especially these girls live in this social media world where they can see what all their friends are doing at all times. And it's very easy to see some friends out there and you're like, well, I'm not there. Why didn't they invite me? Or things going on where you weren't included or you weren't invited and all that. And the deal is this: a lot of stuff goes on, and moms tend to worry about this because my wife worries about it for my daughters. But if they're not in the picture or they're not part of it, you know what? It's not a hit on them. It's not anything against Megan or Lainey or whatever. It is a situation of they're just not thinking about them, right? You got to have a lot of friends. You got to be around a lot of people. And just because you're not part of every single thing that goes on, don't take it too personal, right? And I think that that's important for them to understand, to stand on their own 2 feet. I've watched Lainey go through a quite a bit over, high school and college with coming out of COVID and everything like that, and in college. And, girls are mean. Let me go ahead and be honest with you. Girls can be cutthroat. They can be mean.
You think?
Yeah, they can be. And mean to each other. And I think the thing is to teach your kid to have confidence in themselves. That's the key thing that I'd go with there. It's hard. Parenting is not easy.
Well, and them, just like Devo said, and what you just said, is just getting them to be comfortable in their own skin, regardless of what that is: hair, clothing, how they talk, how they look, how they, any of that stuff. And I think it takes us a long time to figure that out too, as adults or going through things. And some of us still aren't there, but it's like, you just got to get on their level, but you also have to do the teaching at the same time and not go the friend route.
Yeah,
right.
That's right. Back to the punishment type of thing. Punishment, and you can't be the friend all the time.
Can't be the friend all the time.
Sandy
and
says
that is why one might own 185 different dress shirts, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this.
It's shoes.
Now it's shoes. And he's got me into it. My wife is like, "What the heck is going on with you and Josh buying these Jordans every other day?" I mean,
hey, Matt, single friends get you in trouble, dude. Come on now, they get you in trouble.
Hey, hang out with them married folks, got other bills.
That's right. That's right.
It was like 10 days, and then we'll roll out. It was like 10 days, and I'm like sending Matt, like, I think I bought 12 pairs of shoes in 10 days. Matt's like, "Oh, I'm about to get those. Tisha gonna kill me. He's like, "Tisha kill me." I'm like, "Bruh."
Hey, Devo,
like,
I want them problems.
Me.
I came home, I was like divvying out checks. I said, roofer's coming tomorrow. I got to put a down payment on vacation. Got this. I'm like, I wish I could buy some shoes. They don't line them in the bills, man. Right. I'm like, nah, I can't do that.
Finding things on sale. Where they're on sale?
Dude, I got them on sale.
It's like, where in the line item does these shoes fit?
hey, this is I don't have all them other line items. Mine are I'm in a different place now. So my line items like
I do. That's why I keep getting in trouble.
Jordan 1s, running shoes, man. Jordan 10s, Jordan 11s.
It must be nice.
Hey,
and I sell
really off topic. Really off topic, but I'm doing this new thing now, and so I was talking to my daughter, and I was like, "Hey, I need some comfortable shoes that I can wear for like about 8 hours a day," and she was like, "Oh yeah, get you some of them On Clouds." She was like, "Oh, never mind, you ain't gonna pay for those."
I love On Clouds. That's my favorite right there. That's the truth. Right. That's a good investment, man. You need to do it.
Hudson came home.
My daughter is biracial.
Us white people wear those On Clouds. But no, Hudson came home from school, and I'm like, "Look at these shoes I got." And the first thing, and he's listened to me talk about the money piece, the finance piece, the frugal piece, the on sale. He goes, "You selling those or keeping those?" Like with the smuggest look on his face, like he was my dad.
Yeah.
Are you selling those or keeping those? I'm like, I really feel like I should lie to you being 14 right now. And what I'm going to do, why are you talking to me like that? I'm like, no, I'm going to sell these and I'm going to keep these. He's like, how much were they? I'm like, my gosh, bud. Like, but he's figured that out. Going to the grocery store, finding sales. So he's learned that from me, which I love that. I'm like, I got these for this amount, but I sold these. I'm going to get these two. He's like, hey, that's good.
Hey, Josh, Hudson is trying to discipline you so you become more developed.
Somebody's got to.
He's trying to be my friend. He's trying to be my friend.
No, Josh.
He's flipping it on you.
He's not trying to be your friend. He's trying to be your daddy.
He's trying to be my daddy. Right, I know.
That's because he don't want that legacy money to go
Next
out.
week, we're going to invite Hudson on the show. You
Right,
can stay on.
Hudson's on the call next week, y'all.
That legacy
Next
money.
week you can hear my son.
All right, real quick. It's 10 o'clock. I do. Y'all don't have to do it, but I'm going to do it real quick because, I just got to, right? Proud dad moment. Megan Elizabeth, my daughter, passed her step 1 for medical school.
Let's go. Good job,
That's the
Megan.
hard test. That's the first hard test. You got step 1.
More
step
money,
2.
more money, more money.
Let's go. Georgetown Medical School. That's good. And then my son, Braden, he called. We were sitting in Charlotte eating that. And he was telling me he got a promotion. Not a promotion, excuse me. He got a raise, got a bonus, got a raise and all that. And he said, but Dad, that's not the best part. He was on with his boss and his boss said, doing a review, boss said, hey, hold on just a second. I got to read this email. Boss started reading the email. He said, Braden, he shared his screen. He said, you've been selected to be part of this Milwaukee Tools Leadership Program. You're one of 2 out of 500 that got selected.
Let's go.
Nice.
That's what's up.
That's it. That's it.
Congrats.
I had to throw that out there, not to leave Lainey out. She's over there in Florence doing great things. She's going to spring break to Morocco next week.
Nice.
Bless her heart.
Bless her heart.
Hey, my 7-year-old's getting baptized on Sunday.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's a proud moment. I told you that was one of the shocking things is when read Braden a book. I've told you all the story. Read Braden a book, walked out, light turned off. He says a couple minutes later, Dad, come back in. And he said, Dad, I just asked Jesus to come into my heart. What now?
There you go.
That was one of those moments, man. I'll never forget it. Never forget it.
Circle's complete.
There you go. Anybody got anything else they want to close out with? This was a good one.
I'm glad Amy's back.
Yeah,
Yep.
Amy's back. She's been in.
We have some new folks in the chat. I put it on IG, so I see some of my peeps over there from IG come over. So I put it on IG and got the link. So thanks for y'all showing up, hanging out, man. Like the page, like the Convene page. Find Matt's page, find Eric's page, find Devo's page, find my page.
Yep.
Every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. These 4 of us are here. Sometimes we're on the top, sometimes we're on the bottom. Black, white, mix, doesn't really matter.
We're going to bottom for a while.
We're gonna be on the bottom for a while just because.
I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, we might be,
I'm mad at
be on the bottom, but we can end on the top.
It's all love, man. All love. All family,
January
all family,
20th, baby. January 20th, all over again, right here.
Stupid.
All right, hey, next Thursday night. Look, everybody that's watching, please come back. Help us grow this. This is fun.
Real quick before we cut off. Hey, I just want to shout out what we're doing. I think sometimes we think that we're just on here telling a couple jokes, but the work that we're doing is powerful. I ran into a young man who probably was about 30-something, has a couple kids, and has also another brother. And he was like, hey, I'm looking for something where I can kind of hook in and I can kind of develop my dad skills. And so I shot him the link. I think he's going to link in and he's going to look at a couple of our podcasts and also share it with his brother, who's in a very similar situation, just had his child as well. So the work is powerful, man. Like, just continue to press on. Like, I know sometimes this is a grind. Sometimes it may seem mundane, but just push through and know that like the rewards will come later. And just know that what we're doing is needed out there. So I want to thank each and every one of you brothers for the work that you do. Truly, couldn't do it without you. Yeah, all right. I said,
good comment. We'll move you back to the top. That's what we're gonna do.
My odds. So yeah,
that's what we're gonna start doing. I see comments. You roll to the top.
Hey, our audience will be like,
"Let me see if I get to the top." And you brothers continue to do what you do. Love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
Love you too. All right, hey, it's been great. If you're watching again, please keep commenting. Comments help us, and we love that. But let's keep growing. And I love you guys too. It's awesome. Let's keep this up.
Yep. Let's
All
get
right.
it.
Go Vols.
To the top for the end.
Yeah.
To the top.
We back
Make
on
it
top,
drop.
baby. We back on top, baby.
All right, everybody have a good night.
Holla.
Holla.